All right, in this video, we'll talk about high-level nutrition and what your body needs after an injury or surgery. Your body is really actively rebuilding and repairing itself, and obviously nutrition plays a huge role in that, so we'll dive into various tips and tricks how to make the most of it. So to start, well in recovery, you may not feel like you're doing much strenuous exercise and physical therapy in the beginning, and especially post-op, but your body is still working really hard in the background, and it needs that fuel and those nutrients to recover.
They give me no eagle powers! They give me no nutrients!
And in general, nutrition helps in recovery in 4 major ways. Number 1 is repairing muscles and tissues. Number 2 is reducing that inflammation or that chronic inflammation that happens after an injury with that tissue. Number 3 is boosting energy levels. And 4 is supporting your immune system. So we'll talk about the basics and what your body needs to heal in general. So we'll keep it simple and high level, and we'll touch on the 2 major things that your body needs to recover. So the first one might seem a little obvious, but it's getting enough calories. So whether you're recovering from injury or surgery, it's really not the best time to cut back on food because healing burns a lot of energy and you want to prioritize nutrient-dense foods. And we'll give a few examples of that later, but a quick note on getting enough calories. And currently there's a lot of great research around fasting and the various benefits that it has for health as well as inflammation. But when in recovery and especially surgery, it's really not the best time to try something like that as your body really needs fuel to recover.
Hello.
Oh, wow. What is wrong with you?
Oh, well, I've been fasting for 3 days, so I probably look good.
You haven't eaten anything for 3 days?
And I feel great.
So within those calories, you have a few different kinds. You have your macronutrients first, which are your carbs, your proteins, and your healthy fats. Your carbs are really your fuel for healing, your whole grains, fruits, sweet potatoes, things like that. Within protein, those are your muscle and tissue repair builders. So you have your chicken, meat, fish, beans, eggs, things like that. You also have your healthy fats, which helps you keep you full. So you can think of avocados, nuts, olive oil, or even things like MCT oil that you can put in your coffee and tea. So in addition to your macronutrients, you have micronutrients. So these are the little things that matter throughout your recovery and your nutrition. So besides protein, carbs, and healthy fats, there are the vitamins and minerals that play a big role in your recovery. So these include things like vitamin D and calcium, which support bone health. They can be found in dairy, leafy greens, or other things like that. You also have magnesium and potassium, which really help muscle repair and prevent cramping. So you have bananas, nuts, whole grains. You also have different supplementations you can do with magnesium. You also have iron, which boosts energy and oxygen delivery to tissues, so it's found in spinach, lean meats are a couple different examples of that. So the second major component your body needs after injury or surgery, in addition to those calories we talked about, is another obvious one, but is hydration. Even mild hydration can slow down your recovery. So obviously be sure to drink a lot of water, and especially if you're exercising heavily and sweating in PT, you want to add some electrolytes into your drinks. We'll put various links in the description below of a few good options like Noon tablets and Element. These have things like sodium and magnesium that really help throughout your recovery. So now we'll touch on pre and post-surgery nutrition, really what to focus on before surgery and how to build that foundation and what various things can help in your post-op nutritional plan. Before surgery, you want to really build your foundation. This is more tailored to the weeks and days leading up to surgery. The day of and the night before surgery, you certainly won't be able to eat or drink pending that specific doctor's protocol. So you want to really build up your foundations the weeks prior to surgery and those days leading up to it as well. So for pre-surgery nutrition, really you want to focus on adequate protein, carbohydrates, and vitamins to prepare your body for the stress of the surgery. And preferably, you really want to avoid processed meals and avoid things like fast food before that surgery and have some really high nutrient-dense foods to really prepare your body for that. So another great tip before surgery with nutrition is to increase those anti-inflammatory foods. And it's important because chronic inflammation can really delay healing and increase pain. So certain foods like salmon, nuts, seeds, olive oil, turmeric, those can really help keep your inflammation in check and are some great examples to try. And again, as we touched on earlier, but another hugely important one is hydration because it really supports circulation, nutrient delivery, and even waste removal, and all critical for healing. Another quick note on hydration is that if you're having surgery, being well hydrated in the days and weeks leading up to it can really help make getting an IV much easier and help the nurses see your veins much easier. So if you're able to eat and drink for those days and weeks leading up before the operation, that can really help with that IV placement. Obviously, you won't be able to drink the night before and that morning, but just a tip to stay well hydrated integrated there. So now looking at a few post-surgery nutritional tips. So again, you really want to consume protein-rich meals, and you want to kind of space your meals evenly and consistently so that you can keep that sustained healing process and keep your energy levels up throughout that whole journey. One specifically helpful tip that I had while going through this was to consider meal delivery services. You know, they can get a little bit pricey, but the ease and convenience of them was well worth it in my opinion, especially when you're limited with mobility. HelloFresh is a great example, and we'll put some others links in the description below, but those are great healthy options and convenient while you're kind of down and out after surgery. Another great tip that I got while going through surgeries was to cook and freeze meals in advance. Obviously a little bit more prep involved, but a great way to keep yourself on track with healthy, nutrient-dense, high-protein meals is to cook them and freeze them in advance, so when you're ready and you're kind of immobilized, you can just throw them in the oven or microwave and you're good to go. So that's a great tip that helped me along the way as well. One other thing to note about post-op nutrition is that the post-surgery constipation is pretty real and uncomfortable if they give you various pain medications. One massively helpful tip for me on that was magnesium citrate. And again, we'll put some links in the description of brands, but this is a great natural way to help with that issue and something that I really found a lot of benefit from.
Harry, are you in there?
Be right out!
I hope you're not using the toilet, it's broken.
Huh?
The toilet doesn't flush.
So now we'll quickly touch on when to eat after surgery and with recovery. Now this isn't something to put too much pressure on. Obviously eat when you can, but this is more for the stage when you're getting back into physical therapy or working hard in PT or even back in the gym and much more physically active. In general, before exercise or physical therapy, you want to eat a mix of carbs and protein a couple hours before. So an example of that would be a banana with peanut butter on whole grain toast, just to give you that bump in energy and prepare your body for the physical exercise to come. So with post-activity recovery, generally you want to eat within that anabolic window, which is within 20 to 30 minutes after a workout or physical therapy, and you want to replenish those protein and carbs to really jumpstart that healing. A good example of that is kind of a Greek yogurt smoothie. You can put whey protein in it, non-fat Greek yogurt, preferably without all the sugar, a few berries, bananas, things like that to kind of jumpstart that healing and that energy after a workout. So now we'll touch on a few common mistakes that people make during recovery. I've made them myself, but first is skipping meals. We touched on that a little bit earlier with some of the fasting, but your body really needs those fuels and those nutrients to heal, so skipping meals is a big one. Another mistake that folks make sometimes is to rely too heavily on supplements. Obviously, whole foods are better than pills and supplements. Obviously, supplementation can really help fill the gaps, but when possible, you want to fill it with real food to help your body recover. And lastly, a little bit of a broken record here, but ignoring the protein and those carbs. Your body really needs both from muscle and tissue repair after an injury or surgery to get through that stress and begin healing. Now we'll touch on supplementation and if you should take supplements throughout your recovery journey. Obviously, you want to talk to your doctor if you're taking other medications throughout your journey, but in general, real food should always come first, but there certainly are major benefits to certain supplements throughout your recovery. There are a number of supplements that help me out through my various recovery journeys, but the first would be whey protein. So if you're really trying to up your protein intake, there's a number of protein brands, and we'll throw some links in the description, but whey protein is a great way to do that. And on that same note, in general, milk is a great protein source, so especially chocolate milks. Some chocolate milks have a lot of sugar, so you want to look at the nutrition label. But in addition to whey protein, just healthy general milk is a great way to get some protein, whether that's post-op or post-physical therapy and exercise. A quick note on that, if you're taking various antibiotics after surgery, some of those do not interact well with dairy. So be sure to check with your pharmacist or doctor before you take dairy with various antibiotics. Could upset your stomach. I know that from experience. Milk is a great protein source as well. Another great supplement that I use is omega-3 fatty acids. So this really helps reduce inflammation. So that fish oil is really great for your joints. Nordic Naturals is a great brand, and there are a lot of others out there as well, but omega-3 fatty acids like fish oils are great for recovery. Another great supplement that works well for recovery is collagen peptides. So these really help support joints and tissue repair. Lots of great brands. I believe Costco sells Vital collagen peptides in bulk if you're looking to buy in bulk. Another great supplement is vitamin D. Obviously, the best way to get this is to get outside and get in sunlight, but if that's not an option for you, vitamin D supplementation is a great healing supplement to try. Occasionally, doctors will put you on antibiotics after major surgeries to help fight off various infections. So a great supplement for gut health are probiotics. So a specific one that I've tried is Align Probiotics to really help that gut and help increase that good bacteria, especially if you need antibiotics after surgery. And lastly, there are two great types of magnesium that can help post-op. Number one, kind of mentioned earlier, for that post-op pain medication, constipation, is that magnesium citrate. So it's a really great supplementation to help you naturally relieve that issue. So that's one to try. And you also have magnesium L-threonate, which is great for brain health, cognition, as well as really helpful for sleep. So those two magnesium supplements are really great for recovery, so give them a shot. And as always, it's a great idea to check with your doctor before adding any supplements to your routine, especially if you're taking other medications. You want to ensure that there's no interactions with adding supplements to your current regimen. So recovery isn't just about rehab, it's really about what you eat. Throughout recovery and your injury journey, if you focus on number one, balanced meals, two, proper hydration, and three, the timing of those nutritious meals, you'll really heal faster and stronger and have more energy to get back to doing what you love sooner. All right, and drop a comment below with what's helped you on your recovery journey, and if you have any nutrition tips that may have helped you along the way. If this was helpful, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.